We got a few more to go. Let's go to the second 2:30 game. This is Auburn at number 9, Texas A&M. Texas A&M coming off a bye. We got Auburn traveling to College Station to take on the Aggies. The model here obviously giving the Aggies a 71.6% chance to win, favors the Aggies by about 2.5, so roughly a field goal favorite at home. Now, that might sound low given A&M's top 10 ranking, but let's unpack it, all right? Let's unpack it. Texas A&M has impressed so far, no doubt, particularly on offense. Marcel Reed has injected life into the Aggies passing game. He's already thrown for 9 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Even led A&M to a very dramatic road win at Notre Dame. By one metric, Reed ranks in the top 35 nationally in EPA, which is a metric that I use for these deltas. It's basically an efficiency metric. This really dynamic offensive edge, I think, is one reason the model leans Aggies. A&M is averaging well over 30 points per game and has multiple playmakers that can stretch the field. On the other side, Auburn's defense has shown vulnerability, especially against the pass. In their loss last week, Tiger secondary got lit up by John Mateer. They threw for nearly 300 yards on them. Auburn's pass defense metrics rank in the triple digits nationally, somewhere in like the mid 100s in EPA per pass allowed. That's a big red flag when you're about to face Marcel Reed and a really talented Aggie receiving core. The model is essentially saying if Oklahoma could expose Auburn through the air, A&M can too. And I tend to agree. Now, I actually picked Auburn in the upset last week on the road in Oklahoma, and they definitely had a chance in that game. I'm not going to rehash it. I did that on the precap, so that's not what this is about. But that was kind of going with what the model saw from Auburn. The model all season had really liked some of the efficiency metrics from Auburn. However, this week, Aggies are going to be a heavy favorite. Naturally, a lot of that is because of the data that we get coming off of the loss that Auburn had at Oklahoma. Another mismatch to note is in the trenches. Auburn's offensive line looked like trash last week at Oklahoma. They were completely overmatched. They gave up like 9 sacks, 10 sacks to Oklahoma. I think Texas A&M's defensive front has the horses to present similar issues for Auburn's QB. For Jackson Arnold there, I think A&M's pass rush will be absolutely licking its chops after seeing that film. I mean, who wouldn't be? And if Auburn can't protect the quarterback, it's definitely hard to sustain drives and score consistently. You're always going to kind of be playing down in those situations. So to Auburn's credit, though, there's a couple of factors that could keep this game tight, right? I just explained on the last one. To see a few of you tuning in here. Appreciate you being here on this Wednesday afternoon. This is a 71.6% chance for A&M to win. That doesn't mean there's a 100% chance that they're going to win, right? It's not how probability works. There is a chance that Auburn can win this game. How could that happen? For one, I think defense. Auburn's defense is very stout against the run. In fact, I think they boast the number 1 rush success rate allowed. Their run defense has been excellent at stuffing opponents and forcing long yardage situations. If they can make A&M one-dimensional, i.e. like make Reed throw it 40 plus times, that could increase the chances of turnovers or mistakes. Also, Auburn's offense has been leaning on the run and short passes. Jackson Arnold is a QB who often uses checkdowns as extensions of the run game. So they've been modestly effective with that ball control style. And notably, Auburn has done a good job of protecting the ball. So I believe they've only turned it over once, twice all season. They've played pretty clean. So a very clean ball control game plan is going to be the recipe to hang around at College Station. So what's the call? Well, doesn't take much for me just to go with the model on this one. I like A&M to win. Frankly, might even give them a slightly larger edge than 2.5 points. This matchup just favors the Aggies. They're at home in Kyle Field, one of the biggest, toughest venues around. They'll have the better quarterback right now, I think, and a defense capable of exploiting Auburn's weaknesses, namely that offensive line. And unless Auburn's offensive line has a night and day improvement or they find a way to force multiple turnovers on defense, it's really hard for me to see them leaving College Station with a win. So give me Texas A&M to remain unbeaten with that passing game leading the charge. And just as a quick aside, if Auburn does shock us it probably means their defense played lights out. I mean, maybe held A&M to under 20 points. Maybe they got a special teams or turnover touchdown. It's kind of weirdness I think it's going to take. Not expecting it. Now, before we move on to the next game, quick reminder, if you're enjoying any of these previews, toss us a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us to keep bringing you these deep dives every single week.